guys, what is up? My name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to another bookish video. Today we are going to be hauling a bunch of books I have essentially thrifted over the past few months. And when I say a bunch of books, I literally mean a box full of books. And so this is why we're not in the usual filming spot, because the box is just too heavy for me to bring there. So I hope you guys enjoy a nicer, closer view to the actual shelves. Also, I look a little bit disheveled. We're not gonna make a big deal out of it. We're just gonna move on. Now, as I said, I've been collecting these books for a few months. I actually went on a trip to Ottawa with my partner where we did a round of a lot of different value villages. I found a bunch of books there, and I went a little ham because it's harder in Quebec to find secondhand books, and so I took the opportunity while I was in another province. And there's just a bunch in here. There's middle grade, there's romance, there's manga, there's thrillers, the whole shebang. So I'm not gonna like haul them in any particular order. We're just gonna pull books out of the box, talk about them, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get to hauling. First book on top of my stack is a middle grade, and it is The Girl Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig. If you've been here before, you know how much I adore Matt Haig. I have only read his adult fiction as of now, specifically The Humans in the Midnight Library, and for me, they are two of my all-time favorite books. This is the second book in a companion series of middle grade Christmas books. The first one is A Boy Called Christmas, which was one of my book club picks for December. I did not win, but I also got to the second one. Don't really ask me what they're about. I just know they are going to be amazing. They have illustrations, and I couldn't pass a beautiful hardcover copy of this that is like in perfect condition when I found it at the thrift store. So I think this is going to be a big win for the holiday season. I found a World Book Day little book that they make. I believe it's only in the UK. There is no such thing here in Canada. And this one is Percy Jackson and the Sword of Hades, which looks like this, but technically you could turn it around and there's another little book in here. However, I really picked it up for Percy Jackson, as I am a Percy Jackson stan. If you've been to my channel more than once, you would know this. And there are a lot of Percy Jackson videos coming your way in December / the new year. I wanted this for my collection. I never read this short story, so I'm gonna need to read it. Going off in a little bit of a different direction, we have these editions of Agatha Christie books. We have the ABC Murders and Then They Were None. I have never read Agatha Christie. I don't know why. I just have always kind of shied away from it because in my head I'm not smart enough for classics and older literature, but I could not pass up these editions. I've never seen these specific editions before. They have really cool end papers like these, which are amazing. And these were published in like 1983, which is insane, and they're in perfect condition. This one is still even wrapped. I don't know if these are worth anything. I doubt they are, but either way, I just like the sleek black look of them, and I think it's gonna fit perfectly on my shelves, so I got them. Maybe we can do some fun Agatha themed videos in the new year. The next book we have on the stack is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This is a middle grade book that I believe a few years ago made the rounds. It became incredibly popular even for people who weren't reading middle grade at the time, and I was so afraid of the hype that I actually never picked this one up. However, now that the hype has died down and that I am more into my middle grade era of life, I decided why not pick it up. And this is actually about this town where every year they need to leave a baby as an offering to the witch that lives in the forest, but turns out this witch is actually a really nice witch, and she takes these babies and offers them to families that want children on the other side of the forest. But I believe our main character who we're going to follow ends up staying with the witch. So I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. I really love witchy, fantastical, magical realism middle grade books, so I think this is gonna be probably a favorite of mine once I read it. And again, perfect conditions. The pages are still white and crisp. Very happy with my find. Then we have the first of many thrillers and the first of many Ruth Ware, and that is The Death of Mrs. Westaway. This is a thriller that follows a main character who's a tarot reader. I don't think she actually believes in the craft, but she is one. And then one day she gets this strange inheritance. I don't really know much else about this book, but I've been meaning to get to Ruth Ware, and I want to make a full video dedicated to her thrillers because she is one that is recommended time and time again here on BookTube and wherever else you get your book recommendations from. And it's the first time I find a copy that isn't like all yellowed and disgusting, so I got it. Then we have Lisa Jewell, which is The Family Upstairs, and again, I don't think I've ever read Lisa Jewell, but I love getting like thrillers from the thrift store because I don't like spending my hard-earned money on a book I'm gonna read once, and then once I know the twist, I'm not really prone to go back to thrillers, so I like to get them secondhand. This one follows a main character who, after her 25th birthday, receives a letter that I believe indicates who her biological parents were, and the fact that she is the sole inheritor of a house or something, and then shit hits the fan. I don't know more than that, but it sounds very intriguing, and I feel like this could be a better version or kind of what I expected from The Wife Upstairs that I did not get. So high hopes for this one. Then we have Secluded Cabin Sleeps 6 by Lisa Unger, and this is a 2023 release. It follows three couples who rent a luxury cabin. This is a secluded, like, closed door thriller. I believe people start dying. I don't really know. I don't know if this is multi-perspective. I think it is. I'm hoping I love this one. I've seen very mixed reviews for this book specifically, but again, I'm willing to give it a shot. The next Ruth Ware book I have is The It Girl, and this is surprisingly one of the thrillers that intrigues me the most that I own on my shelves as of now. I've read the synopsis a million times, and every time I'm like, this is it. Like, this is gonna be the thriller for me. I don't know how legit that is, but it's a core feeling. They're often wrong, so don't quote me on this. But this actually follows a main character who attends Oxford, I believe, and Hannah, our main character, I believe, again, not sure if we follow more than one, meets this girl named April at Oxford. They become close friends, and then they make this group of friends, and I think it's like all dazzling and beautiful, but then April dies, and I don't know if like we're going in the future and then in the past to kind of see where all that friend group is now and what happened then, and I don't really know how this story is going to go, but it sounds so intriguing to me. I love friend groups, a little dazzle of academia in there. It's going to be a fun time. Moving along with the thrillers in here, we have My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This is kind of like the last chance I'm giving Samantha Downing because I've read multiple of her thrillers and I've DNF'd every single one of them. However, I am holding out hope for this one because I know it's like the Samantha Downing book. Like, if you think of Samantha Downing, you think of My Lovely Wife. I don't even remember what this is about, but it's the first time I find it again in a thrift store in a really good condition. So I thought, you know what? Might as well buy it, and maybe I'll make a video of giving my like least favorite authors a last chance, because I have a feeling I could love this story. I just don't know if Samantha Downing should have been the one to write it, for my personal taste at least. The next thriller I have in this haul, which I know this is a ridiculous amount of thrillers, there's some other stuff in this box as well, is To Tell the Truth. And this is one thriller that I'm like, I've never heard anyone talk about this, but I'm so excited to read this. This follows a main character who's named Lucy, and Lucy is now a very well-known author. Her writing career has like taken off. However, she is married to someone who was an aspiring author as well, but his career kind of went south, and so he's very jealous. And this particular man, who is named Dan, her husband, goes missing, and from what we understand of the blurb, it's not the first time someone goes missing in Lucy's life, and I think it might be told in multiple like timelines. Our main character sounds sus. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, but I'm extremely excited for this one. Another thriller, and maybe the last one in this stack, I'm not sure, is A Stranger on the Beach. And this is one I've seen multiple times at my thrift stores, which occasionally is a bad sign because why does no one want this book? However, I think it sounds extremely interesting. It follows a main character who has purchased this very lavish house on the beach, and it's supposed to be a testament to how well her family is doing. However, her family's not really doing that well. Her husband is lying to her, money is disappearing, and there is a stranger outside on the beach in front of her house, and I think things are going to unravel. Probably everybody's lying to each other. Is the man on the beach someone who's nice? Is he trying to kill the family? I don't know. I won't know until I read it, but I'm excited. I lied. There's one last thriller, and that is The Woman in Cabin 10, again by Ruth Ware. This one also sounds very intriguing. It follows a main character who's, I believe, a journalist, and her latest story is writing about this cruise ship, and I don't know if something has historically happened on it, but she basically set sail on a journey with 9 other people, and is it 9 other people or a few other people? And I think, yeah, there are 10 cabins, and soon shit hits the fan and people start dropping dead, I'm assuming, and maybe she's gonna have to figure out what is happening before she dies. This is, again, a closed kind of setting. I really love closed, like, forced proximity thrillers. I think they're really fun, and again, I've seen a lot of people talk about this book, but I can't remember a single rating or if people actually enjoy this, but I'm hoping I will. Moving on to some romances, I actually found some indie published romances, 2 in the same series, which is the LA Rockstar romance series. So we have Heartbreak Beat and Love Song. I think these are somehow taboo as well. If you have been here before, not that I read a lot of taboo, that's kind of, I feel like, where this was going. It's not going there. I love Rockstar romances. I eat that shit up 24/7. It's my, like, one of my favorite tropes. When I was a kid, I watched, like, all those freaking movies where, like, there's one famous person and then he falls in love with a regular person. Like, Starstruck from the Disney Channel was my shit. It's my identity. It's what I like. And this feels kind of like that, but then there's, like, weird family stuff going on as well. I don't know if there's step siblings. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about those, but they actually had really good reviews on Storygraph when I looked it up. I had never in my life heard about the series, and it doesn't seem like it has the greatest, like, widest audience because these are indie published, but you know what? I'm gonna read them and I'll let you guys know if it's worth it. The last fantasy book, and maybe the only fantasy book on the stack, is actually Jade City by Fonda Lee. What I've been doing with fantasy is finding fantasy, actually that's a lie, there's a lot more fantasy in here. It's just all one series. But getting back to Jade City, I've been collecting books from fantasy series that I think will be of interest to me that I wouldn't, again, pay full price because I am just starting in my fantasy journey. I'm not someone who reads a lot of fantasy, but this is a series specifically I've been intrigued about, and, like, I thought to myself, maybe if one day I find a used copy, I'll buy it, and then I can see if I can't understand a thing, I'll just DNF it. It's fine. I paid like $4 for this, so I'm okay if ever it doesn't turn out my way, but this is a first in a series. I don't remember what any of it is about, but I know it has to do with, like, Jade and stuff like that, and I'm hyped. Remember how I so confidently said, like, Jade City's the only fantasy on the stack? I was lying. Let me get these for you. You're seeing this correctly. These are books like 3 through 7 of the Malazan series. I'm currently halfway through book 2, and I'm currently halfway through book 2 since January of 2023, maybe. Kidding aside, I actually got this series because, 1, I'm never gonna pay full price for it. 2, I had a coupon, and also one of them was free. When you buy 4, the 5th is free. And I told myself I don't want to quit on the series because I know I am capable mentally of reading it, and I actually really enjoyed the first 1.5 books I've read. They're just so fucking big, and it kind of feels like homework, but at the same time, when I get through a good chunk of it and then I start getting in the rhythm, I actually really enjoy these books, and I have my friend who's able to help me if I reach out for help. I know that person will help me, but, you know, trying to be a big girl and do things on my own. But all that to say, I got the books. I don't even remember the order right now, but we have Midnight Tides, and I just want to say, like, these books, this is like almost 1,000 pages. We also have House of Chains, which for some reason I feel is probably going to be my favorite in the series. We have The Bone Hunters, Reaper's Gates, and Memories of Ice. If you are a Malazan fan, don't come for me. I'm trying my best. I say that like the Malazan community isn't some of the nicest people. I digress. And the remainder of the haul is graphic novels and the start of a manga series. One of the graphic novels I'm so excited I found was Heartstopper Volume 1. I have read this already. However, I had the Fairy Loot editions, which I traded for some of my bigger unicorns that I personally was looking for. No tea, no shade. I absolutely adore Heartstopper. This is the American size. They had volumes 1 and 4. I already have 4 in paperback, so I just picked up volume 1. But again, could not have this on my shelves, so I'm currently still in need of volumes 2 and 3. And one of my most favorite finds of my thrifting was this graphic novel, which is Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, and this has like a beautiful color palette. And the reason I'm so excited is because this has been on my wish list on Amazon for literal years. Also, if you didn't know, I do have a wish list. Not that like you need to buy me anything, more in the sense that like what I'm really interested in reading at the moment that I do not physically own is on that wish list, and I feel like it's a great space for you guys to get like recommendations. I have a lot of middle grade on there and some romance, mostly indie, and I think it's a great place to see like what is coming out, what has been happening in the past few months that I am interested in if you have similar reading tastes and maybe you missed out on that. It's always in the bio if you want to check it out. All that to say, I didn't want to pay full price for this graphic novel because I know a lot of like paying full price goes for the art of a graphic novel, but it still sucks when you're done reading something in an hour and it costs you like $25 here in Canada. But now I have it, and I'm extremely excited, and this is definitely going to be like top of my priority in 2024. And the last books, as I said, are all manga, and they're part of a series. So we have volumes 1 through 4, and honestly, look how like good condition they were. I'm so happy. These are some Shoujo Beat manga, and they are called the Honey Nut series, and this is about the daughter of 2 very famous parents, and I think she's kind of like living in their shadow, and I don't really know what else is going on, but I read the synopses. They had this One Value Village had a bunch of manga, but this is the only series I found which sounded interesting. So I got the 4 volumes they had there. If I don't like them, it's fine. I'll just give them to someone else. But if I like them, I at least have 4 volumes that I could read. But I have a good feeling about this one. So that was my very long haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what I should prioritize if you want my opinion on anything, and what you think was my best score in this haul. And I'll see you all very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.